All right. Well, I was talking before and you guys didn't hear me because my mic wasn't on. Hey, nothing I haven't done before. No big deal. We will we will fix that later. Damn it. All right. Well, at least you guys got to hear the intro, and that's not a problem at all. So at least we got something done there. But all right, folks, we're gonna go ahead and we have a bunch to get into tonight. But guess what, y'all? If you're keeping count of the animals I have, you can now add 7 mixed breed puppies to the litter, to the clan, whatever you want to say. But yeah, my one of my dogs was pregnant, had 7 puppies the other day, yesterday, actually. So they're a day old. They're adorable. I can't keep them. We have 1 boy and 6 girls. So if you would like a puppy, get a hold of me, folks. I got puppies. If you're in Texas, it would help too. But yes, I do have 7 new puppies to add to the bunch of animals we have sitting in this house already. But no big deal. No big deal. I love them. They are adorable. But we will be rehoming the new puppies. I just can't do it. We can't have 11 dogs. First of all, that's got to be weird in some sort of ways. 11 dogs. That's got to be wrong in some sort of ways. So, and I don't want 11 dogs. That's a lot of work. That's a lot of work right there. 4 dogs are enough work. I certainly do not need 11 dogs. So anyway, folks, I'm going to go ahead and get me a beer ready because I'm probably going to need it. Having my first one of the night here right now. And folks, hopefully we'll get Smark back. Again, he's just taking a little break. Hopefully he'll come on back. Yeah, you guys got me hair messed up and everything tonight. I don't even care. I really don't. Hey, there he is right there. Hold on one sec. Hold on. That means I got to put the headphones on, everybody. Hold on here. How do I do this? Add to the stage. There he is.
Yeah, I am. Yes.
There you are. Well, folks, we got Smark back this week. What's going on, my man? Oh, I got to turn up my headphones now because I had them low.
I had no idea that I could still use my drops with you being in control of the StreamYard. That's fine.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I'm doing it. Oh well, Smark. We have a ton of shit to get into. Actually, if you go to the banners, can you get into the banners?
Mm-hmm.
Then you can see everything we're talking about right there. Those are all the headlines. So there you go, man. So anyway, man, what's going on?
Not a lot. How are you? How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. Just telling everyone we have 7 new puppies to add to the bunch.
7
in
a row.
At once. We're not keeping them. We can't. We just can't do it. But we got to keep them for at least I think it's 6 to 8 weeks. We'll probably keep them for the 8 weeks, and then I might be that guy sitting outside of Walmart trying to give away free puppies.
That's a tough one.
I know. People do it. You know what? People don't do it at Walmart. People do it everywhere around here. You can be driving by the Brookshires and someone's got them out. CVS, Walgreens. They do it everywhere here. They try to give puppies away.
Yeah. I got you.
I'd rather them give them away than find them in my drainage ditch outside or, any other way. But yeah, we had 7 puppies yesterday. Actually, I was sleeping, and suddenly I hear my wife go, "Wake up! Why? She's having puppies. Where? Right up against you." Oh, okay. I had no clue.
So the puppy that you got a couple months ago had a puppy?
No,
or puppies?
No. One of the dogs that we originally came here with. We had 2 dogs when we came here. Now we have 4. Well, now we have 11. But one of the dogs we came here with, the newer, not the little puppy, the newer puppy who is bigger than her now, did the deed.
Mm.
My son came out one morning and was upset because they were stuck together. And I'm like, yep, we're going to have puppies in a few weeks.
That's how it works.
And puppies we have, sir. They're adorable. They're adorable, man. They really are. They make the weirdest noise. But you know when you scratch your finger like on those little holographic cards, the zip it tapes? That's what they sound like. That's exactly what they sound like right now. But eyes aren't even open yet. They were just born yesterday, so oh my God. Luckily we don't have to feed them.
That's positive, at least.
No, costs about $200 a month to feed my dogs. So I definitely don't need any more dogs to feed, you know?
I hear you.
Yeah.
One is more than enough for me.
You sure you want a puppy? In about 8 weeks?
I'm not sure I want the one now.
I'll drive them out. They're going to be, I mean, they got pit bull in them. That mixed breed dog I got is mostly pit bull.
Well, the one I have now is the first time I've ever had a pit bull, and I think if I were to get another dog, I don't think I would get another pit bull. I think I'd go back to either Rottweiler or like German Shepherd, something like that.
Mini pincher, mini dachshund, maybe.
Actually, I can't lie. The idea of getting one of those dogs that's just lazy as shit actually sounds pretty good right about now. Give me like one of those fucking fat pugs or something.
Oh, there you go. There you go. No, the little puppy we got is to me, it looks like miniature dachshund and miniature pincher together, but probably just miniature dachshund. She's awesome. I don't even know she's there half the time. She literally, if I'm sitting out watching TV, she's right on my left leg against the pillow. And then at night she sleeps against my back. I don't even know she's there.
Right.
She's just she's so small. She's like 3 pounds. Friggin' roll over the fence if I had to, which I'll never have to. But
should the mood take me, I could just chuck her right across the fucking you.
Yeah, I'll never need to. She's a good one. I mean, but the problem is, I'm afraid to let her outside at all. I'm afraid my pigs are going to eat her, and they will.
Oh yeah, I know. Pigs are fucking ruthless.
They will eat her. I mean, if any of my animals outside, I think I said this a few weeks ago, if any of my animals outside look sick and dying, like any of the ducks or chickens or anything, they're not going to make it. The pigs are going to go right for them, and they're going to rip them apart. So we've seen it a couple times out here. My daughter came in about 2 weeks ago telling us they were ripping a duck apart, and I'm like, what the fuck am I going to do?
It's too late now. You got to act quicker.
No, he was actually, we knew he was already dead, but they went right for it. So what am I going to do? Give my pigs some food, a little fresh duck meat. I'll just fatten them up a little bit for when the pigs have to go to freezer camp, as they call it.
I mean, I'm sure that wasn't necessarily the design, but I like the idea of the fact that you just suddenly found yourself having a farm means that there's like new and exciting ways that you could scar your children for life.
Well, we explain the circle of life around here. Smark is what we do. I mean, it is. That's what it is. It's the animal world. It's fucking, this is what they do. And we explain it to her. My 16-year-old thinks it's all cool. My 11-year-old, not so much. But my daughter, she doesn't seem scarred by any of this.
Right on. That's good at least.
But it's early. So, we've got plenty of time, Smark. Plenty of time is what I'm saying. We can scar her much later in life.
There you go.
Yeah, yeah, but nah, she's turned into a country girl very quick out here in the country,
Right on.
which really shocked me because she was the one I was most worried about. But she she'll put on her boots and her cowboy and her pink boots and her pink cowboy hat and her cowgirl shirt, and she's ready to hit the Walmart
That's it.
on a
Ain't no
fancy
better place to go on a Friday.
yep, on a fancy day. She might want to hit the Target.
Uh,
Every now and then she wants to hit the Target. She does. She does. They have some gummy, lunchable type gummy thing that she likes at Target. So we sometimes have to make a special trip to Target for the daughter.
nice.
But like I said, we got really lucky last week with that storm. I mean, Dallas got 5 to 7 inches of snow, and we got a lot of rain, and that was it.
Yeah, five. I think we got about 5 inches of snow over here. It's just again fortunate on the behalf of the fact that it didn't end up turning into ice. Really, like it shut down things for about a day or two. But like last year, we ended up getting 5, maybe 6 inches of snow as well, like within the 24-hour period, just like how it ended up happening Friday. But that turned into ice almost instantly, and it was fucking terrible because like everything was shut down for about 4 to 5 days. The worst part was that my dog, the dog that I had before the puppy, she was right about to turn 11. She was having a little bit of problem getting around because, unbeknownst to me at the time, she ended up having like some cancer in her foot. But that's not the point of the story. The point of the story was she was having trouble moving around at that point. So there's snow, there's ice. I'm out there in the yard like for a good solid hour and a half, 2 hours, just working harder than I've ever worked in my fucking life, breaking down the ice with the shovel, fucking shoveling all the snow, cleared out a giant path on the right side of the yard because there's like a sidewalk, right side of the yard, left side of the yard. Sidewalk divides everything perfectly. I was worried about her slipping because she had slipped before. So I do all this hard work, bust my ass. I can barely breathe because you know that's the shit when you're in the cold and you're working and like the cold weather gets into your lungs. It makes it feel like it's burning.
Yep.
So I did all that. I let her out. She goes running down the stairs, runs to the left side of the yard that I did not touch with the shovel. That was completely full of ice and snow. I broke down the right side of the yard. She wanted nothing to do with that. I was like, all right, well then fuck you. That's no longer on my conscience if something happens to you.
Oh man, poor dog. Dogs
Yeah,
rarely
she
do.
was all right.
They always do that. You know, you'll clear like we literally cleared a whole spot for my pregnant dog, and we were going to let her sit on the floor, and we were going to let her do her thing. No, where does she have the puppy? She gets out of there, jumps on the bed, and has the puppy right on the comforter.
Of course.
My wife is waking me up at 5:40 in the morning. Get up. Why? Puppies. We had to change the sheets. But as soon as we put the puppy in where she was supposed to go, she didn't move. And she's been a good mama. Sometimes dogs will kill their baby. She hasn't done that, so everything's good. But she won't let she won't let any of the males in the house touch the babies. My wife can go grab them. My daughter can go grab them. As soon as either one, me or my two sons, go and even get near her, we get growled at. So she doesn't want to be. I mean, she's just like, men, no.
Right.
So usual girl doesn't want any man after having babies. My God.
Yeah.
So,
They'll do that to you.
Oh yeah. Well, Smark, let's get into it. What do you say, my man?
Let's do it.
All right. Glad you're here, by the way. Nice. Give my voice a fucking break. All right. So, Smark, we unfortunately have to start off with a death that happened today. But at least he got to live a very long life. Folks, we're talking about Bob Uecker. Bob Uecker, he is a WWE Hall of Famer, actually. I don't know if anyone knows that. but he is. He passed away today at the age of 90. He was at WrestleMania 3, and then he came back the next year. If you remember, he was the one that got choked by Andre the Giant in that that famous picture that we always see of him doing it. Here, I'll go ahead and share that real quick. Bam. Right there. There it is, Smark.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on here. There we go. Now you're back in it. Yep, that's the picture we usually see. But I know Bob Uecker mostly from Major League, the movies. He was in all three of them. But he was also the voice of the Milwaukee Brewers and was a catcher, I believe, in his early days. So he's always had something to do with baseball, whether it was movies or whatever it was. But did have a couple WrestleMania appearances, folks. So, but I mean, 90. That's a goal, man. 90 is a goal. That's you know.
I think. I mean, it kind of depends on the day, but yeah, I mean, it feels like after a while you get to a point where you've lived for so long that like shit starts to go, like sight, hearing, whatever, like mobility. Once you start reaching that point, it's like I don't know. But from what I understand, he seemed like he was still on his shit. So.
Yeah, I never heard anything about Bob Uecker being, this, that, or anything like that. But it was sad to see today. Like I said, actually, 2 weeks ago, I watched all three of the Major League movies over the weekend on a Sunday. So I do like those movies. The third one's a little different, if you will. But the first two are fucking gold. With you got Tom Berenger in the first one and the second one. Tom Berenger was in the first two. Only two of the original, actually two, Serrano came back in the third one. And what's that guy's name? Dennis Hasberg. Dennis Hasberg, I think.
Your guess is as good as mine. I've only seen the first one.
He was the fucking Allstate guy. The very deep voice, very tall black guy.
Fake Bobby Anthem, as I know.
No. Different voice, different deepness, different tone to the depth. But
true.
Yeah, he was. I think Dennis Haysbert is his name.
Right.
But he was in it, and one of the guys from the second one was in it. I couldn't even tell you his name.
Fair enough.
That was it. Third one had Scott Bakula from Quantum Leap in it, though.
Well, hell yeah.
Quantum Leap is a pretty badass show, folks. Quantum Leap's pretty fucking good. So, all right. Stuttering John's still doing cameos for $40. If anyone is interested, I don't know why you would be, but just in case you are. So, all right, Mark. It's been a while, but we got to do it, my man.
It's been a while.
It has, but we got to do this. We got to talk some Vince McMahon.
Oh, boy.
There was Vince news. There was Vince news over the actually just yesterday and the day before, I believe. Let's see here. This came out. Actually, this is January 10th. This was actually news. Actually, came out a few days ago. But folks, Vince McMahon now. Even CNBC they've charged him with this. Even with a charge, let's be honest, the guy got away with a slap on the wrist. This was for him failing to inform WWE and the board of the settlement agreements, totaling $10.5 million with two women on behalf of himself and the WWE. Now, he was only ordered to pay $400,000 in penalties and reimburse the WWE $1.3 million. So he really did get away with a lot for a little, if you think about it. But that's Vince. Listen, folks, high price lawyers, folks, will get you whatever you need. I'll tell you that.
Indeed, they will.
So I guess we can read a little bit of this. The SEC said McMahon should have informed the WWE board about the non-disclosure agreements, which were made on behalf of him and the company. I would definitely agree that's true, because if he's making decisions for the company, they should be involved in what is going on with the company money. McMahon, in a statement on the settlement of the SEC case, suggested that he is no longer under criminal investigation by the DOJ for issues related to the women. It isn't completely true. He does have a civil case with Janel Grant, which we have to get into next also. The case is closed. Today ends nearly 3 years of investigation by different governmental agencies, said the 79-year-old. In the end, there was never anything more than this minor accounting errors with regard to some personal payments that I made several years ago while I was CEO of WWE, McMahon said. I'm thrilled that I can now put all this behind me. Oof. Minor accounting errors, Smark, which is what this is what we're now considering NDAs for sexual assault.
Come on out, you rapist!
If the shoe fits, Vinny. If the fucking shoe fits.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I mean, shit. We had Teflon Don when it came to John Gotti. It looks like we've got Teflon Vince now. I mean, this is nothing. No jail time, which I literally saw people online like, he should go to jail. It's like, my God, folks, do you not understand? He was investigated. The law. Investigation. He wasn't investigated by fucking, like a TNA investigation from fucking Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair. He was a real department governmental agency investigation, folks.
I actually like that idea. Since he's not actually going to face any type of legal punishment, he should be forced to have to run TNA for a year, or maybe even worse, put him in charge of CZW.
Ooh. That
you figure out what to do with wife beater.
There you go. But yeah, I mean, well, rumor is he's got a thing going in California, though. Rumor is he's got a studio that he's buying up in California.
Did he do that too?
What?
He said he had a thing going on in California. So is that something else that he did? You're saying it's his fault?
Well, no.
Did you be too careless with one of his cigars, and the next thing you know?
No, folks, as Billy Joel said very eloquently, Vince didn't start the fire. Okay. Let's
I remember that. Yeah, that's right.
Let's deal with that right now. Thank you, Billy Joel, for that lyric in that song. Vince didn't start the fire. I remember that.
Vince didn't start the fire, but he did rape that secretary. He's not going to jail because his wife is friends with Donald Trump. Anyways.
Well, let's be honest. This is still a Biden administration right now. This is still the Biden administration. Trump. We still have 4 days left, my man.
That would be so fucking wild if that was the last thing he did was just all right, I'm gonna throw the book at me, man.
Yeah, you never know. I don't see why he would, but listen, he was investigated. 400,000 and 1.33 million to go to paid back to WWE. Probably just probably go pull out cash for that. Now I know, Dirk. I know Vince was getting off no matter what. He's got the money, dude. If you got the money.
Oh wait, he did get off already, says Dirk. Nice one.
Yeah. Oh, he got off all right in a few ways. I got you. I have to play audio. I don't want to play audio. I played two audio things last week, and I got hit for both of them.
Yeah, it's apparently a Stuttering John cameo.
I cannot believe that I got hit for that Chris Jericho trailer. I figured they would be begging people to play that fucking thing.
Probably by Chris Jericho.
I don't know. That movie does look very interesting, though. Did you see it?
I mean, I'll probably watch it. Like, I will say, yeah, Deathmatch. I mean, the thing about Jericho is I will give him this. As much as we criticize him about everything that he's been doing wrestling-wise, he's got a good eye for horror. He knows what he's talking about when it comes to horror. So I imagine if he's going to be making a horror movie himself, he's at least going to be putting forth an honest effort. It's not just going to be something that he's doing as a quick cash grab.
Well, he's not completely. This isn't all him, but he is the star, I guess, of the movie. And I don't know. The movie actually didn't look bad. Like I said, it looks like it looks pretty fucking good. I'm definitely gonna check it out. I'm definitely checking it out when it comes out. I think it comes out the end of the month. I think it comes out January 31st or something. End of the month it comes out.
It's a weird time for horror, but it's not the only horror movie that's coming out at the end of the month into next month. I saw one that was coming out like the 20th, I think. I forget what it was called, but yeah, there's apparently a lot of January horror releases, oddly enough.
Wow. I don't know. The only thing I'm looking to this month is a few more next week. That new Mark Wahlberg movie, Flight Plan, comes out. I really want to fucking see that.
There you go.
Really want to fucking see that. And I've been mentioning it on here. I can't wait till that movie Ballerina, the John Wick spinoff, comes out. That looks badass. He's in it. He's in the movie, John Wick. Keanu.
Oh, of course. Love Keanu.
Yeah, he's in it. So it's definitely going to be, it's part of the John Wick family that they talked about in the second chapter. They're bringing the whole movie about it. Going to be fucking good.
John Wick extended universe.
Yeah, exactly what they're doing, man. They're bringing it out there. I love it. I think it's badass. So works for me. But yeah, Vince basically did get off, to say the least. But yeah. Oh, it's a cameo. I can play a cameo video. Cameo video I can play. You're right. You cannot copy from here. Smark is correct. You cannot copy and paste from these.
And I can't do it either, so I'm not sure if we're going to be able to do it, because for some reason it's also showing me as an admin still, so can't really help you.
Nah, no big deal. I ain't worried about it. Well, we're both logged into the same account, which isn't a big deal. That's actually good that we can do that.
Yes.
So that's not bad. I didn't know we could, but that's a damn good thing right there. But anyway, Vince, not much of a thing here, but you think he got away with that, folks? I got a feeling there's one more thing he's about to get away with. After all that went down yesterday, WWE filed a response to Janel Grant's lawsuit, and they're looking for a status conference in request of obviously the whole civil suit she has going. Now, status conference is exactly what it sounds like. It can be exchanging evidence between lawyers. It can be plea bargains. It can be settlements. Why do I have a feeling if this comes to play, we're going to start not hearing about this case anymore? I got a feeling this is a settlement. I think Vince wants all this bullshit behind him. I think he wants to move on with his life. And I think he just wants to go to the next chapter, whatever that may be. A movie studio or whatever he's doing out in California. That's what I believe he wants to just move on. Get all this bullshit settled. So I believe we're going to end up with a settlement in this case. That's what I believe. I could be wrong because Janelle Grant and her lawyer are dead set on smearing McMahon's name, PR wise, public relations wise.
Right.
But let's be honest, this is stuff that people have, how am I going to say this? Known and accepted about Vince McMahon for years. Does that make sense?
Well, what I would say about that is like, look, I mean, it is what it is. I think that, like she just said before, that she's not seeking the settlement. She wants him to face criminal justice. But I think at some point you kind of have to read the tea leaves, as it were. And it's like, there's a really good chance that if this keeps going, he's not going to face actual legal repercussions, consequences, however you want to look at it. She has already done enough, done so much as to basically get him ousted from the company. His reputation has taken a very permanent hit. If I were her, I would very much consider at least taking the settlement, because it's like you kind of accomplished some of what you set out to do, maybe not all of it, but you're probably not going to get him to serve any actual jail time anyway. So I feel like maybe 2 out of 3 ain't bad, Meatloaf style. You take the settlement, you take the smeared reputation, you ride off into the sunset. You've kind of done to some degree what you had set out to do.
Yeah, and remember, this is a civil suit that she has going against him. It's not even a criminal suit. So, I mean, let's face it, the reason this lawsuit is happening is because she leaked it to the press, and in the NDA, she wasn't supposed to. Someone leaked it to the press. I don't know if it was her. And Vince said, "Fuck you! I'm not paying now. You have broke the agreement. You broke it." Now, let's all be clear here. There is a difference between a contract and an agreement. A non-disclosure agreement isn't a contract. There's a little bit of a difference there. The agreement is actually more binding than the contract, believe it or not. It's usually more detailed, but it's usually much more detailed. I mean, and smaller. It just says, you will not talk about this, and I will pay you this. That's the agreement between the parties. That's it. That's all it is. Probably notarized and signed. But, Vince heard the story, and he said, "I'm not paying." And she said, "Well, I'm going to sue you." But this is a civil suit. This is not a criminal suit, because Vince McMahon, unfortunately, did nothing wrong. She actually went against the agreement first. She breached the agreement. So
it's about time somebody had the courage to say that. And I do agree with you. Vince did nothing.
Well, Vince did nothing as far as stopping paying her. Vince definitely did something to this girl. Whatever you believe, trust me, I am in no way defending Vince. But yeah, as Norab said, the lawyer and the rep are doing a lot of media because all they really want to do is smear the guy's name, which is working. I mean, listen, the guy stepped down as CEO from a company he built. I'm not going to say he did anything, but I don't know. Have we ever thought of having a classy British host on the show? I don't know any classy Brits, so I don't know.
So, for what it was worth, True North, I can tell you what, after we started talking about wrestling briefly, and Luke pieced out faster than I've ever seen him piece out before. So I think the answer is probably no.
Sorry, man. No. We're good. The computer will start locking up with more than 2 people on here. You know how it goes. But so yeah, I mean, we all know this story. We've talked about it on this show. Every show has talked about it, which is why I'm not getting into the details once again. You guys know the details. You can look them up if you'd like. But it's just so odd, though, that, and they're definitely saying, "Oh no, Vince, this is not at all. Vince, absolutely. We're definitely not doing this because he won. The SEC filing. No. But it's just the timing of this is very precise. Here's a word for you, precise. It was very precise, the timing of this. So I don't know, man. I think they're going to end up settling. I think Vince just wants to, like I said, I think he wants to move on to the next chapter in his life, put all this bullshit behind him. And I'm sure something else will come along. I'm sure another lawsuit will come along that he'll have to deal with after this. So, it is what it is.
Indeed it is.
It is what it is. We'll have to see what happens in this case, but I would almost bet money that if this little meeting takes place, we're going to see less and less of this case suddenly, and it's going to get settled.
Yeah, potentially. I mean, it's hard to say exactly what's going to happen because, you're saying she's not necessarily seeking a settlement, but it might be best to just take the settlement at this point.
Vince, and I'm sure his lawyer is pretty good at convincing people of that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you really want to keep spending money on a lawyer? Do you really want to go through this? I'm sure Vince is going to say, we go to court. You're going to smear me. I'm going to smear you. It's going to be a whole shit fest of smearing, literally.
I gotta say, smear is one of the most unpleasant words in the English language.
Really?
Like I can hear moist all day long and not bat an eye, but every time you've said smear, I've sort of groaned a little bit internally.
I'm sorry.
It's all good. Although what's really funny is when talking about this, you never really realize how much of your daily vernacular has like sort of double entendres or metaphors that could be like shit related until you actually start talking about it. You're just like, oh man, there are so many like inadvertent ways that we could bring up what happened.
Yeah, pretty much everything. Yes, Matthew. Tomorrow it is SmackDown, my man. Matthew Alshabaz. What's going on?
Interesting. On the card.
It is SmackDown tomorrow night. 3 hours of SmackDown, folks. I still can't believe they fucking moved. I still can't believe they did that. But all right, folks. I think enough about Vince McMahon. I mean, it's so. At this point, it's like I'm glad we went as long as we did without talking about Vince McMahon. I'm even happier we haven't had to talk about fucking CM Punk in the past fucking couple months. Thank God. Thank God. But you know what? Let's talk about CM Punk Light, also known as Corey Graves. Oh, sorry. Is that not supposed to be said out loud?
There you go. Yes.
At this point, he is CM Punk Light. He's out there bitching about shit. He's, he's got the tattoos. He's got the fucking hair slicked back. He's CM Punk Light.
He's kind of always been, honestly. Like, even when he was on the independent scene, he kind of had that reputation of being like, we have CM Punk at home guy.
We can get CM Punk from Wish. CM Punk from Wish. Here it is. Now, Corey Graves. Now, before we get into this, folks, obviously, this can be, some people think it's a work. Some people think it's a shoot. Meltzer was saying, his brother said this is a total shoot. And a lot of people are saying, no, it's a work. This is a work. I think he might have one more match. So anyway, Corey Graves has been moved off of either SmackDown or Raw. And he was moved over to NXT. Now, when he was introduced on NXT last week, I don't know if you saw, but Vic Joseph gave him a little pat on the back, and Corey Graves looked like he wanted to crawl into himself to hide. Mm-hmm. He did not look happy. It was visible. It was totally visible that he was not a happy camper about what was happening. So, of course, instead of talking to the company, what does he do? He goes to Twitter, X as they're calling it now.
Yes.
Because what do you do when you have a problem with your company that you can't work out smart? What do? You don't go to the company. You go to social media because talking to the company is absolutely not in the cards. So instead of going to the company and, talking to them, because he was on Raw, and Michael Cole and Pat McAfee are now doing Raw, and Wade Barrett and Joe Tessitore will be doing SmackDown. So Corey Graves is over on NXT, and he goes to social media and he puts, imagine chasing your dream, then being told, not deciding, that you're no longer physically able to pursue your dream. Then you dedicate your life to something dream adjacent. I actually like that term, to be honest with you. And being pretty fucking awesome at it. And then when it's time to enjoy the fruits of your labor, it kept going. You're told you're not famous enough to be on TV. I believe it was what it said. It's been deleted, so I can't get it all right now.
What a mark.
So that one got deleted, but also you're right, Raven. Then he put, I've got a lot to say. Don't miss WWE NXT tonight on the CW. Well, I guess he wasn't on last night.
No, he was not.
He was not on. So this leaves it to, he also tweeted something else, by the way, actually on the 11th. He put 10 years. I still miss it every day. Actually, this was in December. This was way before all this went down. He put 10 years. I still miss it every day. There was no backup plan. Not bad for an audible. Thanks to everyone for taking the ride with me. So I don't know. Maybe he knew at this point there was something being shaken up. Everyone at this point knew that they were going to Netflix when they were going to Netflix, Mark. So let's start with the first question. You think this is a little or work or shoot or a little of both?
Well, I'm just basically what I was listening to Alvarez talk about it, and he was saying before, I guess you were saying that he ended up deleting the tweet, but at the time the tweet had stayed up for quite a while. So it was a matter of, he kept the tweet up. Usually they tell you to delete that shit if you talk bad about them, WWE at least. And then he wasn't on NXT. So it's you figure, okay, he's tweeting bad about the company and then he's not showing up for his job. If this was legit, he would be fired. So one would be led to believe this is probably work, and even if it's not, it will probably end up being a shoot that turns into a work. So either way, you kind of end up there.
Yeah, it might be. That might be definitely true. I saw people online. Oh, he's trying to get fired. Why? Where the fuck is he going to go? Oh, let me guess. AEW, right?
He's going to be wearing a mask.
So he goes over there and y'all will hate the man. You'll hate the man. So why would you want to do this to the guy? Don't, please. Don't. I think you're pretty much on it. I think it might have started off as a shoot. Now they're working it. He probably did sit down finally and talk to the fucking company, and they said, it's this fucking our way or the highway, bitch.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can do this or fucking, unemployment lines that way. Why don't you go complain to our management office?
That's it.
Peggy in the management office will take care of you. She's in HR.
It's even more now is basically the fact that they have the partnership with TNA. Even if you get mad at them, you can't even go there anymore because basically it's an extension of WWE in a sense at this point.
Yeah, we'll be talking about that too. That's definitely on my list. I can't believe that.
But yeah, even before what we were going to talk about happened, they were still they had the partnership with TNA. So TNA is not going to bring on anybody that's going to jeopardize that. So if you're you get disgruntled, you leave. You can't go there anymore.
Maple Leaf Pro, you want them to fucking move to Canada?
They said New Japan too because they suspended Chris Charlton.
I know they did suspend that guy, but we talked about that.
But I also feel like you have to be able to like know some level of Japanese in order to like be a New Japan commentator to like help translate and shit. So like
New
I
Japan
think
has,
he'll be in the woods there.
they do have the English commentators, and I don't think those guys know a lick of fucking Japanese.
I think Charlton does. I know it's like usually it's like him and like Rocky Romero show up, and I think Rocky Romero probably does too because he's worked in Japan for fucking ever. But yeah, I'm sure there's plenty of they have commentators in Japanese wrestling that do the English commentary that don't know that much Japanese, but kind of all depends case by case basis.
You know, actually, Rocky Romero was the one I felt bad for in that whole situation because here he is having to listen to this rant on the company he's like he works for and kind of is like a liaison for with New Japan.
Liaison's perfect.
And he's sitting there and having to just he probably wanted to fucking just leave right then and there. But no, I think Corey Graves will be on NXT. I think we'll see it. I know. I mean, didn't him and Booker T have a little thing a few years back? But I don't know. Not that kind of thing, Smart.
he's having to pay Booker T hush money, or vice versa.
No, nothing like that. Nothing like that. But I thought him and Booker T had a little, not a feud, but like a little back and forth thing between the two of them a few years ago. I don't know. I don't think him and Booker T like each other.
Yeah, very well possible.
Like legit, I don't think they're fans of each other at all. I don't know. I could be wrong. But I don't know. But I think you're probably on track with it. If it did start off as a shoot, as his brother says, it's probably going to end up being a work, and we will see Corey Graves on NXT, or we won't. We won't see Corey Graves anymore, folks.
Ever again.
Probably. I mean, maybe. I mean, like Norab was saying, AAA. I didn't know his brother. I didn't know he had a brother, nor did I know he was in AAA.
Yeah, you were talking about his brother saying to work. Apparently, his brother is Sam Adonis, and if you don't know what that name sounded familiar to me, and I looked it up. He got heat for a while. Like it was a long time ago at this point, but he was working in Mexico and he was doing like a pro-Trump gimmick. Like I remember that. That was he did that for a minute. I don't think he's done that for quite a while, but I remember that's where he's like got his popularity from.
Okay. I do I do remember that gimmick actually. I thought it was funny. But okay. So I see where we're going now. I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. But anyway. All right there. I think enough about Mr. Graves. I think that's enough about Corey Graves. So, Smart, did you know John Cena had or has another reality show coming out?
How would you tell?
This is like the most John Cena show I've ever heard. Now, it's a Roku original, so it's on the Roku network. I got to tell you, dude, Cena is everywhere right now.
It's a Roku original.
Cena is shilling hefty bags.
Did Tubi say no?
What else is he doing? If you go to the kiosk at McDonald's, guess who's on your kiosk now? Mr. Cena telling you what to order on the McValue menu.
Mm-hmm.
So John Cena is all over the place right now, which I'm sure that is one of the reasons WWE wanted him back this year and he wanted to do this tour because his name is plastered all over a ton of shit right now. Oh my God, this guy and his Hugsy. Norab.
Corey be a guest on Hugsy's show. I'll get right on that. I'll send him an email.
It's becoming very unhealthy. I would like to believe that
I would actually believe that there's like a vice versa to this where like he goes to like random other people's like shows and like plugs our shit. That's what I hope. Like he doesn't have to. Don't feel obligated to do so. But I would imagine just whatever show Hugsy's on, there's like comments in the chat where it's like, hey, check out Wrestling Outlet.
No, you better go over there and tell them to cope with Copeland and shit.
Oh God, I fucking cope with Copeland.
I'm telling you, man, we knew that shit back in October.
It is the word.
We were talking about how bad it was in October, and I'm sitting there like, well, I guess if he didn't get hurt, we would have been talking about this in December. But
so I wasn't here to talk about this last Thursday, but just imagine it's the last show that you have before your competitor goes on Netflix for Raw, and everybody's going to be seeing it, everybody's going to be watching it, everybody's going to be talking about it. Your idea to get people to pay attention to your company is to do fucking in the year of our Lord 2025, Chris Jericho versus Copeland. Cope in the main event of fucking Collision. It's like, oh my God. I literally put this on Twitter, was that you're basically just one drunken hockey talk man autograph signing away from being a local indie show with that bullshit. Like, get out of here.
Well, and then think about this week's Collision, the match that got announced with Death Riders teaming up with the Learning Tree. Wait a minute. The guys that are forcibly taking over your company are teaming up with somebody? Anybody? Wait. Hold up a minute.
Yes, this stable that's based on the fact of not liking what AEW has become is working with the person that is responsible for what AEW has become. Like, it's like the dumbest fucking logic ever.
Now, if they end up if they end up going against and just beating the shit out of Jericho and his boys, okay, we got something going here. But I don't know if Tony's got the fucking balls to do that. That's the only way this makes sense, is if they don't work well together. My wife just got home. My dogs are going to all bark. So that's the only way it makes sense. But I don't know. We can get into that a little late. Let's go back to Mr. Cena here. This show is very John Cena. I mean, this is like the epitome of John Cena. Again, it's a Roku channel show, and it's called What Drives You. And the reason I'm bringing this up, not just because of John Cena, but it looks like he also has a couple other WWE guys on this show. He shows episodes with Jelly Roll, Travis Barker, The Miz, and Logan Paul. So here's what it is. It kind of reminds me of Ride Along. Okay?
Sounds like the worst show ever.
Okay, well, here's what it is. John Cena gets these guys, and they literally talk about what they drive, what drives you, okay? Then
this 110% has to be sponsored by a car company, yeah?
I don't know. I could play the trailer if you want. I mean,
there's no way that it is not sponsored by a car company.
I could play the trailer real quick. Let me do that share thing. Maybe if we play it small, it won't hurt anything. How small is that? There you go. All right. I can make it a little bigger for you, my man.
I think as a citizen and proud citizen of China, I don't think copyright rules really apply with Cena-related projects. They have a very tenuous relationship with copyright laws over there, so maybe we'll get away with it.
All right, here you go. Hopefully you can hear this.
Let's go for a ride. I'm John Cena. Join me as I spend time with the most successful celebrities on the planet and talk about what drives them, both on the road.
My wife customized every piece on this truck.
And in their heart.
It was more tough love.
This thing is badass. This is insane.
I live life with no regrets.
That's right.
So there you go. Now, so you see what he does. He goes in and he talks about what they drive, and then they take a drive and he talks about what drives them. So that's what it is. Can you stop? Can you stop?
早上好，中国！现在我有冰淇淋，我很喜欢冰淇淋，但是
I knew you were looking for something. I could see your face.
It wasn't really that. It was just a matter of just how fucking terrible that just like you breaking it down in a nutshell. It's like, all right, so they're driving, they're driven people, and they talk about what drives them. It's like I hope they get into a fucking accident.
It's literally the WWE Network show. Wasn't that called Ride Along?
I am pretty sure it was called Ride Along.
It's that show, except they're a little different. Guapo da Saint wants to know how we feel about the Penta debut. Thought it was
Big thumbs up. It seems like they're trying to make him like out to be a really, really big star, because like fucking Cole put it over on commentary that it was kind of the consensus number one like luchador has always been Rey Mysterio, but if there was a close second, it was Penta. And it's like, damn, you are putting a lot of weight on a name that just debuted. Like it's only been 1 week, so you can't put too much stock in it. But they did everything they could to make that guy out to be a big star, and rightfully so. He's one of my favorites, so I'm glad that they're doing something good with him at least right now.
Yeah, I loved hearing the pop. His daughter was not just crying; she was like ugly crying. She was like big fat tears crying. She was so happy for her dad. It was a pretty good moment, to be honest with you. Look at when they showed his daughter in the audience, but I really thought that was a great debut for Penta. Of course, you've got the usual people. Oh, I thought no one watched AEW. Suddenly everyone knows Penta. Dude, they put his graphic up 3 weeks ago. Do you think people don't have fucking YouTube? We're in the fucking age of instant information.
Right. They mentioned Lucha Underground in commentary.
Exactly.
That's wild shit.
Exactly. People and a lot of people were watching Lucha Underground, and it looks like they're bringing a little bit of that persona back with the arm breaking. Fuck yeah. Fuck yes. I definitely bring back that Penta. I know you can't bring him in as a heel because the crowd was really loving it, but we'll see what happens. I think Penta is going to have a very bright future in WWE, and it was good to see some of the tweets from AEW stars in support of him. You had Swerve Strickland, who put Hermano, which is brother. Thunder Rosa, I'm proud when my friend achieves his dreams. I really am. She said something in Spanish, which I don't know what it is. AAA actually posted something. They put Zero Miedo and then put a little video up. Ray Phoenix said a very, very nice thing. He put it in Spanish, but I do have the translation here. He put, congratulations, Carnal. Without a doubt, my favorite luchador. You deserve all the best for everything that you have worked for. The number one luchador. I am very proud to be your brother and to see how you've achieved all your dreams. I love you, and Zero Miedo. So, once again, proving the fact that the only people that are tribalistic and hate other wrestlers is wrestling fans, folks.
Well, allegedly, I mean, I kind of understand it, but like allegedly, the people who have been sending, like within AEW that have been sending pro-Pentagon messages on Twitter have not necessarily been the best received. Like, Tony Khan's apparently not in love with that, but like, it's kind of to be expected, but it is what it is.
Well, life sucks. And by the way, they started saying the next day he's already got heat on him for going long. Bullshit.
I don't understand that. Like, that's the only time I've ever read something and just flat out been like, yeah, no, I'm calling bullshit on this. Because, okay, they're on Netflix. How do you run over for TV time when you're on Netflix? A, and B, the show was 2.5 hours long.
Yeah.
Presumably, like, they're typically 3-hour long shows. So how do you run over when you're actually short from what you typically had been doing? I don't understand how that works.
Well, this might have been the one time I saw us wrestling fans all get together and call Bravo Sierra bullshit on that, because it was definitely. And then today, even something came out. They have no restrictions on time. They could have gone over if they needed to. No shit. That's what everyone fucking said the other day.
Yeah, there were literally reports that were saying that they basically can just do whatever they want time-wise. So you could have an episode that goes 3 hours or like 3:15. You could have an episode that goes 45 minutes or 20 minutes if you want to.
Yeah, that first episode was 3 hours and fucking 9 minutes, dude.
Yeah.
So they can do what they want. They have, again, as I've said, they have no news to get to. They don't have fucking.
Oh, dear God. Perhaps there's a 24-hour Raw.
Don't even tempt them to get in the fucking history books with that, you son of a bitch.
That's what the Royal Rumble is going to be like when they do it in Saudi. You're just going to have fucking the greatest, longest Royal Rumble in 24 hours. So you get a new person in every hour instead of every hour minute. It's going to be the longest fucking match ever.
A 24-man Rumble. I like it. No, I really hate it. I'm kidding.
Oh, it's the worst idea ever, but that's what's going to happen.
I'm not even happy you said put in Luke Gallows in the main event, hour 15.
Hour 15 specifically is what's making me laugh. I don't know what it is about just hour 15 specifically that's killing me, but it's a good suggestion. I like it.
Bring back Corbin for the Rumble. Dude, I'm sorry. The guy just can't get over. He just doesn't.
Oh, he has other commitments. He's going to be in GCW. I got to stop doing that. I got to stop calling them CZW. They're slightly better.
Yeah, one is actually much better.
He's going to be on Bloodsport. He's wrestling, fighting, however you look at it, because it's Bloodsport. Josh
Barnett, the creator of the Bloodsport, basically.
Kind of, sort of. Originally, it was the first year that they did it. It was Matt Riddle's Bloodsport, but then he ended up going to WWE, so they changed it to Josh Burnett, and then they've been running it like that for the rest of the times that they've done it.
Oh, I did not know that. Thank you, Smart.
Yeah, no worries.
I love learning shit. I fucking love it.
Learning is fun.
I do like learning shit. But as far as Penta's debut, I thought it was fucking awesome. I just don't understand the Luke Gallows versus Carmelo Hayes with Triple H is my God, this is getting worse. I just don't understand I literally saw people calling him a fucking traitor, and I'm like, can you not just be fucking happy for a person? Look at his daughter. Look at that fucking family, how happy they all are. And you can't be fucking happy for the guy. I'm very happy for Penta. The promo he cut afterwards, I thought was really, really good. Even if I didn't understand 3/4 of it, his English is not bad. His English is not bad at all. It never has been. But I thought he cut a pretty good promo. It was pretty passionate. The crowd loved it. And, listen, San Jose, anywhere in California was not a bad place to debut him, because guess where they used to fucking tape Lucha Underground, folks?
Right.
Right there in, what was it, Boyle Heights?
That's right, Boyle Heights, yeah.
Boyle Heights. So, yeah, he was supposed to come out in L.A. 2 weeks ago, but he didn't. So this was not a bad debut, and I think it went well for him. Now, I heard a lot of people complaining about the website spoiling. How did they spoil his debut? Everyone knew he was going to be there. Everyone knew. Even Michael Cole said the worst kept secret in the business.
So apparently, what happened is they ended up playing like a hype video for him on the Raw. That's the first Netflix Raw.
Right. But
they didn't. I don't know if they. I don't think they showed it like on the actual Netflix show. I think they showed it like in the building. So people already knew it was happening, and then even before that, people knew it was happening because there were people that were tuning into, myself included, honestly, that were tuning into the first Netflix show with the idea that he was going to be there. And of course he wasn't, but then they did the whole thing where Chad Gable announced that he wanted to, wrestle a random luchador. And it's like, all right, well, there you go. You set it up for next week. Check out next week then. Hour 23 main event is Tamina versus Nia Jax. Hour 8 main event. There's a new main event every hour on the show. Hour 8 main event, Titus O'Neil versus Cruz Del. I thought he said Alberto Del Rio at first. I was like, that would be fucking god awful. Not this one's any better, but Cruz Del Toro.
God, man, what are you doing to us? I would, dude, if you are never gonna, I will never hire you to book my shows. I'm sorry. Let me let my dog out here.
Not quite like this, but I do remember, I think it was maybe during 2020 and they were trying to help raise money for the wrestlers and shit. GCW actually did like a 24-hour show, whereas like they like partnered up with different promotions. So like a different company got a show every hour or so. There's like different ways that they broke it up. So, but like there's a lot of talent that ended up working like 3, 4, sometimes 5 times in that span of 24 hours because there's only but so many people that were available.
Ugh. Ugh.
Yeah.
Craziness. But I'm happy for Penta. I'll put it that way. I'll leave it at that.
He's in a good position too because they've been looking for a very, 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 very long time for like their next Mexican star, the big person that they can like help market shit like that. And there's a lot of people, myself included, that were concerned with how they were going to use him. And like, you can only take 1 week, can only be said, it's a kind of small sampling size, but they seem to be doing well with him. And also he fits the bill of what they need too, because they've been already fucking pushing out the t-shirts. They've been selling the mask. Like there's all kinds of like potential stuff that they can sell with his name, his face, his image on it. That's going to help his potential star power too. So that's good for him.
Yeah, and that was that's what we were talking about. And that was what everyone said spoiled it was the merchandise came out early Monday morning and everyone was like, thanks for spoiling it. It's like, if you're sitting here scrolling through Facebook and then you already knew, and stop with your fucking stop spoiling it.
Right.
Oh my God. Everyone knew. Like I said, Michael Cole, the worst kept secret in the business, is exactly what he said when he came out. And he was right. So anyway, folks, let's go ahead and move on real quick. We've got Matt Cardona. Been doing very well on the indies. Really has tried to separate himself from the Zack Ryder gimmick. And I think he has at this point. I definitely think he has completely separated himself and become a new person. Well, we know he worked the ROH show, the Final Battle show a few weeks ago for AEW. And of course, Meltzer jumped on and said immediately that this guy was offered a contract. Well, guess what?
He was not.
No, Meltzer's wrong again. Meltzer's wrong again. He said a month or so ago, I get called. Hey, do you want to wrestle Chris Jericho at Hammerstein Ballroom? Hell yes, I do. Another guy I grew up idolizing. We do weeks of TV, getting reactions in-house, social media, killer match at Hammerstein Ballroom. Nothing in terms of a contract offer. So he's saying he went there and that was it. Now, on would he join AEW, he said, of course, I loved my time there, even this past time in December. I love it there. I think it's a great company. I think it's great for business. I think everybody's working their ass off there, but everything has to be the right situation. But I wasn't offered anything. So why? You ask yourself, because you see some of the guys he picks up.
Mm-hmm.
Tony Khan, I'm talking about. You see some of the guys he picks up. You see some of the women he picks up. I would figure Matt Cardona would be right up his alley of someone to grab. Now, this was only a few weeks ago. I guess maybe maybe lawyers are working on it, but I got a feeling contracts there. I got a feeling they have pre-printed contracts. You slap a name on it and you go here.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, unless there's a very unlikely chance, but unless he's just saying that because he does have a contract and he's trying to keep it on the hush, which I don't think is what's happening. I think he just genuinely didn't get a contract. But it is surprising, like you said, based on the people that work there. It's like, you're telling me that you're not going to sign somebody who genuinely got over on his own, like on the indies, but you're going to try pushing Sammy Guevara for the fucking 8th time?
actually,
Good
a guy who has gotten himself over without the WWE machine behind him twice.
Yeah.
Twice. Even in WWE, they were totally against his push, but he got himself over online. Bingo, right there. And then he was let go, and he completely reinvented himself over the past few years and has made it. I mean, the guy's everywhere. But I mean, listen, I guess it's possible you got a guy like Tony Khan who was thinking, well, his wife's over there at fucking, over there in WWE. He's eventually going to want to go over there if he gets here. And, I can't say that would be wrong, because let's face it, if he ended up on AEW, WWE would eventually want him back.
Maybe, but it's for whatever reason, it doesn't seem like they do.
I think they would. I think if he got over in AEW, they would.
Yeah,
100%. I think absolutely they would fucking snatch him up, dude. They took fucking Ethan Page back, or whatever his fucking name is. That guy is bland as fucking vanilla.
I saw an article today, I believe it was. It was like it was an excerpt from an interview. It was like Ethan Page, AEW didn't know what they had in me. It's like, no, they knew exactly what they had in you. That's why they didn't push you. They tried to give you a chance. You didn't get over it, and they stopped using it.
Smart. Because literally he was all over NXT, and it's been a couple months now. Whoa, I haven't heard his name. Where's he at? What's he doing? Where'd he go?
To be fair, I think he's one of Cody's friends. So I think he's like kind of sort of basically like Cody's beefcake, where he's just there as a favor to the bigger star.
Well, Cody needs someone to suck his dick when he can't.
Mm-hmm.
When he's not blowing himself, he needs someone there.
That's true.
All right, now we're just getting mean. But I mean, I could see where Tony Khan would kind of think that way with Chelsea Green being at the other company. And I don't know if that's his wife or girlfriend, but either way.
Wife.
Okay. Either way, I could see Tony Khan maybe saying that. Listen, he's got fucking Malachi Black, who's probably going to end up back working with his wife.
I'm kind of surprised that he didn't bring he sort of brought Cardona in for a minute, 2 different times, but like they were both available to him. Like, why did you could have signed both of them? It's like, why didn't you? Like, fucking A, man.
Yeah, he could have, but Tony would rather go for the New Japan guys. He'd rather try to sign them.
Which, I mean, to be fair, the first time they had Cardona on AEW, it was prior to him getting himself over big on the indies. Because I remember he just showed up like right after he got released. Everybody was like, "What the fuck? They don't need him." And then he went to GCW and he did the whole like WWE guy deathmatch company thing. And it got over fucking huge. He put up like a video that he made. It was like the My Sacrifice videos like they used to do in the early 2000s, and it was like that fucking Creed song. It's like, when you are with me. And there's just like a clip of him just like walking through the crowd, GCW, just a bunch of people in Nick Gage shirts flipping him off. And it was like fucking amazing. Like, it was beautiful. It's like, you are just killing this fucking gimmick. It's great.
Matt Cardona, I would pick him up literally even if the guy was not the best wrestler. Listen, if you hired a guy like Marco Stunt, you can use Matt Cardona in so many better ways. Matt Cardona has a knowledge of social media. He knows what to do on social media. He knows how to garner social media views. And I mean, I would want him in my company just for that. If literally that's what I would want him in my company for.
I mean, he was doing that in fucking like 2010, like
Yes.
2011, before that was even like a big deal or a top priority for companies. He was getting himself because he was doing the YouTube show. He was doing the Z True Long Island Story or whatever it was.
And as soon as WWE decided they were going to take over that fucking show, it was squashed, it was gone, and so was his push. Matt Cardona went through a lot, man. Matt Cardona has been through a lot, but I would literally use it. I mean, I'm not saying use, but I would literally want a guy like that around me. Dude, tell me how you did this social media thing. Explain to me. Talk to me.
Right. Do you think when he's there in the WWE and he's like got himself over on like, the YouTube channel and on Twitter and all that stuff, and they're like not pushing him because he didn't get over the way they wanted him to, and then he's like hearing like John Cena in these articles in like these interviews, but like you just gotta like reach for the glass ceiling, like you got to get out there and make something of yourself. Do you think he just like wants to fucking strangle him? It's like I did, and I'm still in catering. Like what the fuck do you want me to do?
Yeah, he did reach for the glass ceiling. It cut him.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he did reach for the glass ceiling, and y'all fucking broke it before he got there. Nah, he had no shot. They didn't like that he got over without them behind him. They just it was petty. It was very petty. It was Vince petty.
Mm.
I don't know, man. I could see him ending up back in WWE. Maybe next year. I don't know, but I could see it. The guy is very marketable. He's very good. And like I said, man, he knows what he's doing. Not that WWE needs a social media guru, but AEW could use one. And my God, Matt Cardona, if you do end up in AEW, please take Tony's phone.
It's like how do we get better with Twitter? And he just grabs Tony Khan's phone and just chucks it in the garbage can. It's like, well, that's step one.
Yeah, make him your social media czar or something for the company, and he has to check every fucking message that goes out over social media. Because Matt Cardona knows what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know.
My favorite thing before we change subjects, my favorite thing that they did to him, it's kind of fucked up, but it was under Vince. It was like they fired him, I think, during the pandemic, and then they asked him to use his pool for like the Mandy Rose fucking Otis storyline that they were doing. Yep. And it was just like the fucking nerve of you guys. You fire the man, and then like 2 weeks later, like, hey, we need to use your pool to film some shit.
Yeah, exactly. And people were like, well, what the fuck? Why didn't he do it? Come on, man. Aren't you a team player?
He did.
He's not on the team. No, I don't think he did.
No, he did do it. It was his pool because Chelsea Green was still working there at the time. So he like begrudgingly let them use his pool, and then they ended up like firing Chelsea too. And I was like, it's like, gee, fucks.
Great people. All right. So speaking of great people, this is a fun one here. And you're right.
They asked Chelsea, not him, but like it's still like his house, so it's still like fucked up. Like, hey, we need to use your pool though.
That's fucked up.
And then they're like, all right, cool, I'm gonna do it because we'll do it because Chelsea works there. It's like, all right, yeah, we're also gonna fire Chelsea. It's like, Jesus Christ, man! Like it all's well that ends well with that shit because she's back and she's doing great for herself. But fuck, man.
Yeah, just said no. Should have just said I said no. So here's a great story we have to get into. Not really. This actually is a pretty shitty fucking story. I'm not even happy we got to. But it's just it's the folks remember Odyssey Jones. He was just joining the New Day kind of, and then next thing you know he was gone, and we talked about that he did not share that he had a possible sexual abuse thing coming up, and they released him for it. It's basically what they released Enzo for. Enzo knew he might have something coming up, and he didn't tell them. Morality clause, folks. Remember those words? Morality clause.
Hashtag consensual penis.
Right. Wow. That went way back there. Way back there. Well, okay. So his real name, folks, is Omari Palmer. Omari Palmer is his name. He is obviously months later, and the reason it's obviously a few months later is because he said for legal reasons he couldn't come out and talk about it. But he is 100% denying any claims that he had that he did any violence against this woman. He says that he has a restraining order against her. And I heard people saying, "Oh, they don't just give those out." Well, they kind of do. They kind of do. But according to the woman, he got upset over her texting someone, started throwing her around, started throwing household items at her, her personal belongings. And she told all this to the Post. But he is now filing charges against her. So we have a giant he said, she said, with, I'm sure, the truth falling somewhere in the middle, because that's usually how it happens.
Yeah.
But here we go. The Orange County State Attorney's Office confirmed on Wednesday to Post, I guess that's who they were talking to, that the case is still under review with no decision yet on whether to formally press charges. The case is assigned to Christina Mills, who is the Bureau Chief of Domestic Violence and Human Trafficking for the State Attorney's Office. So there you go. But he is 100% saying that he did not do this. He now has a restraining order against her. And this is going to be complicated, folks. This is going to end up being messy, complicated, and expensive for both parties, unless something's settled outside of court. But here we go. And now Palmer's ex that he has the restraining order against did say WWE conducted its own investigation into her claims. And they did terminate his contract when they did investigate the claims. So I don't know what they found, but they found enough to release him. Now, again, they can release him just for not telling them when he was hired that this could eventually be a problem. So I don't know, but this case is going to, and they're not, and she's not going against WWE. She's not suing WWE, but this case here, it sounds like it is messy. It sounds like a lot of he said, she said, and these are the worst cases you could ever fucking put in court, folks. So I don't know what's going to happen here, but goddamn. And everyone's already saying, oh, he did nothing, hire him back. Oh, he didn't do it, hire him back. I understand innocent until proven guilty, folks, but can we let all the facts be known? Right now we have her side and his side. That's usually how it goes. She accuses, he denies. I mean, this is literally like a Vince McMahon situation. She accuses, he denies. This guy just has less. This guy just has a lot less money. So I don't know. Let's. I definitely will see more about this coming up in the future, and we'll let you know as we see it. But seems messy to me, Smark. What do you think?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, that's the kind of thing, though, is like, this will get resolved, and then, like, if he does end up being innocent, he's probably not coming back anyway. So, like, it kind of doesn't really matter. It's like, it's, unfortunately, it is what it is. Like, even if you are innocent, if you're expendable to the company, which is 95% of that roster, more or less, like, you got something like that comes out, you're probably getting fired. Like, that's how it happens.
Yeah, and I know the Enzo situation's a bit different because Enzo was also not liked backstage.
Yeah.
And I even said a long time ago, I think they were looking for an excuse to get rid of him, and they found the perfect one to do it.
It really was a matter of time, honestly, with him.
It was. So, but we'll let you know as stuff goes on with that one. I don't know what's going to happen, but he 100% denies he did anything wrong. He didn't assault her in any way. And he now has a restraining order against her. So that's we'll just have to wait and see what happens with that case and go from there. But we did get an announcement today, Smark, between two companies that we already knew had a little partnership going on, but it's a little more than a partnership now. WWE and TNA folks did announce that they had a partnership happening, and a little more than a partnership. It looks like by the wording they're using that not only will some of the TNA stars get opportunities in WWE as Jordan Grace, Joe Hendry have gotten, but it looks like this is going to be kind of a developmental for their developmental with WWE and TNA, with TNA being their developmental for developmental. That's basically what they are saying they're going to use. Now, there are a few people on that roster that are ready for that TV ready. Jordan Grace, my God, bring her up immediately. But this is a pretty good thing for TNA. I'm wondering if now the deal with Peacock and WWE is, I believe, until March of this year. I'm going to tell you now, I wouldn't doubt with this little partnership, I wouldn't doubt if we see TNA end up on Peacock. Really, I wouldn't doubt it.
It's a step up from Destination America, whatever the fuck they're on these days. Access TV.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't doubt it. I would like to see, I'm sure a lot of people would like to see TNA on a bigger platform. I do see some people saying their shows have been a lot better for the past couple of years. I honestly don't even know how I would watch them unless I got their app, which I paid for their app, which I don't do that. But I don't know. This is definitely big news, more for TNA than WWE, because let's face it, when AEW did this whole partnership with TNA, how many times did we come on here, Mark, and say it was one-sided?
Very much so. But the funny part is, like, people were like that trying to defend it as like, yeah, I mean, but they had Kenny Omega show up on their show, and they had Christian show up on the show. It was like, yeah, but like the whole point of like Kenny Omega came up on the show, and then like Tony Khan was on the show too, and they were just like cutting promos about how much Impact sucks. It's like, that's not exactly, like, I understand, kayfabe, rivalry, feud, whatever, but like they're literally just out here being like, nobody watches this bullshit. It's like, you can't say that when it's true. That doesn't help them.
I mean, Omega was on there. The ratings went from like 60,000 to 60,042.
Yeah, 5 extra people watched. It's like,
what? It's like, I mean, come on. It was absolutely horrible. It was one-sided. We kept saying that. And it turned out we were 100% right. And you're right. Nor I was right. Tony Khan did bury TNA when he was there with the promos he was doing, trying to be a heel with sunglasses on. Tony Khan is not a heel, folks. Not a heel. Not a heel at all. I don't think Tony Khan could ever be a heel. He's crazy. He's awkward. Meanwhile, I know I'm not exactly I'm pretty awkward myself, but good God, you're not a heel. But he did definitely do some damage. But WWE did the right thing here. I think this is going to be good. Now, once again, we do know Tommy Dreamer is one of the guys in charge, Smart, one of the most loved guys in the wrestling business. And I guess we'll see what happens here, but this can only be good for TNA and WWE. WWE obviously wouldn't make the deal unless it's good for them. But I think this is a very good deal for TNA. I think this gives them a little more, how am I going to say this? A little more ammunition when they look for a TV deal. The fact that they've got a partner, a gigantic juggernaut of a partner in the wrestling business.
Right. And I don't know if that's necessarily on the table or not, because like you said, they have their own app and everything, but it'd be kind of cool if they ended up like having, because of their partnership with TNA, if they ended up having like the TNA library available too. That'd be pretty nice.
Yeah, and I don't know if that, I mean, they didn't buy TNA, folks. Let's not go too far. But I'm sure, listen, they have a partnership now. Deals can be worked out. I'm 100% sure they would have access to whatever they needed. If they needed the TNA music, I'm sure that might be part of it. But we'll see what happens. But I definitely think this is a great thing for TNA and for WWE. Like I said, obviously, but see what happens here, man. This could, you'll definitely see more TNA talent on WWE and probably more WWE talent going over to TNA as this goes. And I would definitely say you'll see some TNA talent in NXT, maybe even some NXT talent going over to TNA also. I would say it's going to be a reciprocal talent sharing thing as they're going through.
No, since 23 years ago, you'd be called crazy if you thought these two companies would collaborate.
I mean, you would have been called crazy
5 years ago.
Yeah, if you thought TNA was going to last fucking 23 years, you would have been called crazy and an idiot back then.
I think more than anything, I would have been just genuinely surprised going into it if you were talking about like 2019 or so, or before they started working together. If you told me that WWE would have done a better job working with TNA than AEW did. Because like there's no fucking way, but it's like no, they shared their talent a lot better. They let the TNA talent come on their show, and they did more with them. It's like, all right, well, didn't see that coming, but it is what it is.
It actually feels like a partnership. Before, when AEW did it, it felt like one company was trying to. It felt like one company was trying to use the other to push their show, and that's all it felt like. This feels like an actual partnership. You know, you've had some people go over to TNA already. You've had Jordan Grace come over to WWE already, and others. So it's, you know, Joe, like I said, Joe Hendry and a few of those. And fuck, Joe Hendry got over in WWE. So, you know, this could be good for a lot of the guys there. They could get a lot of exposure, be in front of crowds they've never seen before, some of them. And that's not a shot at TNA, folks, but let's face it. We know. I'm not saying anything out of school here.
Where is the lie? You cut through an empty arena.
Like I said, man, I mean, even having the thought that TNA would still be around now, people would have called you crazy thinking it was going to be even around at this point. Everyone's been saying TNA has been dying for a decade, and they've managed to hold on. So anyway, let's move on to a little bit of that AEW Dynamite, or Maximum Carnage, as they called it last night. Smark, what do you say?
Let's do it.
Our man Dirk was there.
Yes.
Yeah, I was getting some videos from him this morning. I don't think he knows I don't get up at 5:30 anymore, so no big deal. I thought my wife's phone was going off at 5:30 this morning. It was mine. But yeah, Dirk was sending me some videos last night or this morning. He definitely said Chris Statlander's ass looks better live. I said it looked pretty good on TV. But he said it was a really good show. He said it was a great show to go to live. He said he had a lot of fun. So that's a good thing. But let's go ahead and go through a little bit of this here, Smark. What do you think?
Sure.
All right, let's go ahead and do this. All right. It wasn't a bad show last night. Let's start there. I'm not going to say it was a great show. It wasn't really a great show last night. There was some very bad about this show last night. Jeff Jarrett, holy shit, you disappointed me last night. But we did start out. We got Taz back on commentary, Smark.
Mm-hmm.
We got Shivani, and we've got that stupid fucker in the mask. He's there too. Anyway, we've got Excalibur. That I'm not going to do it. We start out like we have for a while now. We've got the old Death Rider promo or whatever it is, which has kind of been how the show's been starting. But I still can't believe that those son of a bitches took the Rock and Roll Express hostage. Those motherfuckers.
Indeed, they did. Yeah.
You don't fuck with the Rock and Roll Express. God damn it. If I was there, I would have kicked their fucking ass.
That would have been wild. That's what happened. Just fucking had Ricky Morton just beat the shit out of all of them collectively. Hit fucking sweet ass Canadian destroyers on all of them.
They didn't know who, well, they might have, but they didn't know who Ricky Morton was looking at.
Well, that's more Gibson's problem than Morton's.
Yeah, Gibson's
eyes are
correct.
Sort of, they're close enough.
This was kind of a little push towards tonight's main event, which was John Moxley and Powerhouse Hobbs, which I'll go ahead and say it would have been a great idea to shake things up and just take the title off of Hobbs, even if it was for a couple of months. I don't think it would have been a bad idea. I think it would have been something no one was expecting, and it might have really lit a fire under some people to come back and watch it, because no one is liking this Death Riders thing. I might like it, but no one else is really liking this. I see what people are saying.
For me, like, it's not that I necessarily dislike it all that much, as much as I just find it to be kind of tedious and boring, because it's basically like when it first started, there was this sort of mystique to it that it was sort of a little bit mysterious, and like you weren't quite sure what they were going to be doing when they like changed from Blackpool Combat Club to Death Riders. And yet, Moxley was dressing different, Marina Shafir was there, and it's like, all right, what's going on? And then it's just like, as the weeks have passed and as it's sort of taken time to take shape, it's basically just developed into your run-of-the-mill average generic heel stable. Like, there's no real grand motivation or purpose or anything that makes them super interesting. It's basically you just renamed the Blackpool Combat Club.
Pretty much. It's really not much different. I'm glad they at least tried to. I mean, I praised this in the beginning, just the fact that Moxley was different, because I was complaining that his promos were all the same. He would slither to the ring like he was fucking Randy Orton or something, and then cut the same fucking promos. But I still think they should have. It would not have hurt to put the belt on Hobbs for a little while. Mm. We get the first match, which was Brian Cage and Kenny Omega. I had zero issues with this match. I actually thought it was a good match between the two.
I agree with that.
I thought we saw Brian Cage doing some things that he doesn't usually do. Kenny Omega, this is his first match back. If I heard the word diverticulitis one more time out of the commentators, though, I was going to fucking shoot my TV.
Elvis style.
My God, how many times can you work in the word diverticulitis? It was horrible. It was not good how many times they fucking worked that in there. I heard the word diverticulitis way too many times in the first fucking 20 minutes of this show.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we got Dirk back. Like I said, Dirk was there last night, live and in person. But yeah, I thought this was a really good match between these two, as I expected. when I talked about it last week. I like Brian Cage. Always have. Lucha Underground, I fucking like the guy. I like the guy on the indies. I've always been a fan of Brian Cage. I think he's got, we've talked before about why he never made it in WWE. He was there more than once. I don't know. We've never figured it out, but great match between the two with Kenny Omega getting the win, which I think everyone expected Kenny Omega to get the win.
Yeah, of course.
After the match, of course, you got all of the Callis family coming down. And then Will Ospreay comes down and takes everyone out for a minute. You got Takeshita coming down, but in the end, we had Ospreay and Omega still staring each other down, beat down, but staring each other down. Then we had this, and we had the Hurt Syndicate, after that, Smark. And they had a little backstage thing. And then we had the New York Minute. Brian Keith let out a motherfucker.
Indeed. Samuel L. Jackson stuff.
He went, my God, your mind went where mine went. He went Samuel L. Jackson on us last night, folks. It was crazy. And the look on Jericho's face was great. Look, I know y'all, a lot of people don't like this guy. A lot of people don't like this gimmick. A lot of people don't like this thing. Do y'all not understand what Jericho is doing? He is trolling us. This is what he's doing. He's trolling us. But I do like this New York Minute thing he's doing. I think it's funny. I think it's good. I think it's, I don't know. This group is supposed to be annoying. If they are annoying you, they are actually doing their job.
It's a weird thing because I don't hate the character. Like, I find it kind of funny sometimes. Like, we clashed on this before, but the one he had with Ishii, where like Ishii followed him around the backstage area for like what felt like 20 minutes. Like it was a scene out of a fucking bad horror movie. Like, I actually thought that was funny, but like. I feel like some of the stuff that he does is funny, but at the same time, it also just doesn't translate to me actually wanting to see him wrestle or being all that interested in any of his feuds. So it's like a weird sort of, like, I don't know, like, contradiction, I guess.
Because no one wants to like a troll.
Yeah, that's true. Hey.
And Jericho's a troll. And now he's a champion, so he's more of a fucking troll. And listen, we know what's going to happen in this fucking group. Eventually, Big Bill's going to turn on him, and then Brian Keith is going to turn, and Jericho's going to be back on his own. I don't know. Right now, I know this is a very, very bad gimmick to a lot of people. I find it hilarious. Maybe because, I don't know. Maybe because I get it. I get what he's doing. He is trying to annoy you. He is trying to troll you. There you go. Dirk says they're trolling Cornette and Brian last. That's what the group is about. Dude, Jericho even grew a fucking mustache, like every heel in this company has.
I don't know how this necessarily worked, but like, what if they had him doing like the exact opposite of like what we were talking about Matt Cardona did in GCW? Whereas like the WWE guy that did the, in the indie deathmatch promotion. Like, what if you had just Jericho doing this gimmick where he was like supposedly like this independent wrestler type of guy, and like they like talk about him like being like a weekend warrior and like how tough it is on the road trying to struggle and make things work. And he's like going to like fancy hotels and shit. Like, I don't know exactly what this gimmick would be, but like you try to just make Jericho out to be an independent wrestler that has like, but like he obviously has no idea what that's like these days.
They'd still fucking hate it because hating AEW is the cool thing right now, and anything anyone does in AEW, you have to hate it.
That is true. That's such a weird thing though, because that is true. Because it's just like it's what gets clicks. That's what generates, fucking. It's what gets people talking to you about you and like looking at your videos and all that shit. It drives engagement. That's what I was trying to say. But at the same time, they also do a lot of questionable shit. Like I'm not somebody that just bashes everything that they do, but at the same time, like we were talking about, you have fucking WWE going to Netflix. Everybody's talking about them, watching them, and like you decide that like the big feud that you're gonna do is Jericho v. Copeland, like fucking 25 years later. It's like, why?
Listen, we've even said before they need to bring someone in for a booker. A lot of people said Scott D'Amore was actually seen backstage at Dynamite. My God, there's your booker. Bring that motherfucker in.
Yes.
But then again, he's got his own promotion. I don't know if he wants an actual job, Scott D'Amore. I don't know. He's got his own promotion, which is doing well. He is doing well. So, but I don't know. I think people have a lot of the podcast world has figured out that if you talk shit about AEW, you are going to get clicks, you are going to get hits, and you're going to get you're going to make money from it. So whether y'all realize it or not, you're all part of the fucking scam. I don't know if half these guys probably don't believe a word they're fucking saying. They just know. I mean, like I was talking about a few weeks ago, JD from New York, he admitted that he fucking literally he admitted that he makes money every time when he rants on AEW.
So apparently there was a tweet that came out the other day where like AJ Francis, aka Top Dollar, was saying that JD was paying him to like come to his house or like show up at his events to like be his friend. And that is the lamest shit ever.
Dude, I wouldn't doubt it. I hate to say, but that guy, those
like imagine paying anybody to be your friend, just point blank, but then also like of the people that you could pay to be your friend, imagine fucking paying Top Dollar of all people.
Yeah, I'm sure you could find someone else. I'm sure. Okay, let's keep going here. We come out, we get Ricochet. We come back, and Ricochet's coming to the ring. I don't know, man. I like the suit he had on. He had the pink, the kind of pinkish purplish shirt on, the blue suit. I liked it. I liked the suit he had on, but the crowd really was all over him. They were chanting for Swerve, and he was getting so pissed about it, which was great. I thought it was fucking awesome. But then he said, fuck it. Y'all don't want to fucking let me talk? A picture is worth 1,000 words. He puts up the picture of him in his white suit, all fucking bloody. He's got Swerve all bloody. It was a great picture. Then we hear Swerve's music. And this might have been the best part of the show when Nana comes down, hits him with the chair, and Nana is just behind him. He's not just dancing. He is hardcore dancing to the song. He is he is pushing it. It was great, man. It was fucking great just watching Nana just sitting there fucking dancing behind him. And the fact that he was into it so much made it even better.
Exactly.
Even fucking better. But Swerve comes down. He starts swinging his chain that was around his neck. And Ricochet takes off. And the announcers were like, my God, he went into the snow. He's going to freeze to death. What? You're not in Alaska. Let's calm the fuck down.
They're concerned for his well-being.
You're not in Antarctica. I mean, let's chill. Chill's not a good word. Let's relax here a little bit. But then we go to this. Mercedes Moné just keeps getting worse. I'm sorry, folks. It's talk about annoying. And again, I probably should get that gimmick too, but it's just, she's like a high school girl. She's like one of those parody high school movies,
Mhm.
that is Mercedes. The annoying high school girl that everyone wants to punch. The problem is she's not in high school. So I don't know. The whole gimmick annoys me. It just annoys me. I don't know why.
I mean, really good wrestler, really bad promo. I mean, it's just, it is what it is. Like, I kind of thought it maybe would be different because, like you never know how people are going to be when they don't, when you get outside the WWE environment, especially because she left like during the Vince, period. So it's like, all right, you leave, maybe, you're not having to do the scripted promos. You can actually sort of kind of delve into what your character is about more, be able to like cut promos and say in your own voice, talk about like basically what you want to talk about. It's like, really didn't do her a damn bit of good. Like the scripts were actually probably better for her, to be honest.
Yeah. Go back to she needs to be scripted because really it's not working. And whatever this fucking video was, it's just she's just like it's like fucking what is that movie? Romy and Michelle's fucking reunion or something. She's just an annoying fucking like high school chick, and it's just not entertaining to me.
It kind of reminds me of like fucking Hillary Banks, like from Fresh Prince, just
There
like
you
the
go.
whole Valley Girl thing.
There you go. That works. Meanwhile, she's from Boston. She's nowhere near the Valley.
I see now that would be a gimmick. She starts talking in the fucking Boston accent and calling people like cocksuckers.
You fucking cocksucker. I catch
That'd
you
be
down
great.
at the I saw you down at the bar. Sucking cork.
You down there sucking coke.
Down there sucking cork. I saw you down there, you fucking bastard.
In your car, of all places. Just out there sucking a cock.
Out there sucking cork.
Your cousin from Boston.
Yes, folks, when I make fun of Boston, I was actually born there, and most of my family is from there. And they talk just like that. All right.
I, of course, was born in Chicago, so I don't have much room to talk about anybody else's accent either.
Oh, you just got to drop all the R's. I'm sorry, the I's. You got to drop the I's because the I's don't exist in Boston.
That's
You
it.
go to the car, you go to the bar, you get a beer. It's the laziest accent in the fucking country. I'm sorry.
That's it.
It's worse than New York accent, which is saying something.
Mm.
You get a real hard Southie Boston, like South Boston guy talking to you, and you're just gonna go, "What the fuck did you just say?" Slow down.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, folks, back to AEW. We end up with the we're back here with the Hurt Syndicate coming out. We've got wow. It is actually MVP was in action for this match, folks. We had Lashley, Shelton Benjamin, and MVP, who why? I don't understand why we had to have MVP in here. I know they don't have anyone else yet, but this could have just been a fucking tag team match, and I would have been happy with it. MVP didn't look bad, but out of all of these guys that are either just pushing 50 or over 50, MVP looked the oldest in the ring. Let's face it.
Mm-hmm.
Not bad, but definitely looked the oldest.
He's probably been wrestling the longest out of every one of those guys, too.
Probably.
For whatever that's worth. I mean, him and Shelton probably aren't that far off, but at the same time, like, Shelton is in just fucking ridiculously good shape. So it's like, it's harder to tell.
Yeah, it really is. But it was them against Jesus Christ. It was them against Private Party.
That would have been a match.
Yeah, exactly. Them against Private Party. And why can't I think of who it was against? Private Party and with who were they with?
Mark Briscoe?
Yes. I think so. I think so. Thank you.
Yes.
My brain just broke, folks. I think my brain just broke.
That
But
happens.
MVP just looked really not great out there. Not horrible, but not great. Ended up being a good match, of course, with Hurt Business, Hurt Syndicate. Oh my God, I can't stop saying it. Hurt Syndicate getting the win. But then we get now. I want to talk about this. Then we get the Jeff Jarrett MJF stuff, folks.
Mhm.
I had zero issues with MJF. MJF went out there and did his thing, but Jeff Jarrett, dude, that crowd was fucking looking at their phones. They were fucking having conversations. They were going to get beers. They were taking a piss. I like Jeff Jarrett. I've admitted this before. I like Jeff Jarrett. I have no problems with Jeff Jarrett. But my God, that fucking, what the fuck was that shit last night? That was awful. Awful when it came to Jeff Jarrett's promo. He was off. He was just not there for some reason last night. It was horrible. I don't know what you thought of it, but I thought it was horrible.
I think more than anything, my takeaway was like they did MJF so dirty on Twitter because somebody like posted a video up from that promo of just zoomed in on his hair and just the fucking like the oil or whatever it is, like Rogaine just fucking dripping down his face. And it's like, oh God, that poor man. That poor, like everybody was just taking turns bashing him. And it's like, it's wild that he's like, I don't know, 25, 26. And he's like, everyone's just making fun of him for going bald and saying that he's like already like starting to become washed up. And it's like, oh my God, like this shit like came out of nowhere.
Yeah, that was the spray tan dripping.
Mm.
That was the spray tan dripping. But
I'm gonna see if I can find it. Like it is fucking dirty. They did that man dirty.
and you know, MJF always having to go with the having to go for the low hanging fruit and the low part of the joke. I don't know, man. It's starting to get old. It's really starting to get old. Talking about his wife and this and that, and you know, you got MJF talking about how his wife, you know, how he can, if MJF fucks her, he can taste a fucking champion and a gold medal and an Olympic gold medalist balls. And then Jeff Jarrett starts talking about how his MJF's girl was fucking doing guys in the back. I hated this. I hated every minute of it. This whole thing was horrible.
Yeah. Well, because like, what does it do in service of the feud? Is the thing.
Oh, there it is. There it is. That's the spray tan dripping off. See the spray tan up here?
Mm.
All dripping. But I don't know. I really didn't like any of this. I thought this whole thing. I liked MJF, but once Jeff Jarrett started talking, no, I could do without this. And it was so long and so dragged out. It just wasn't good, man. I didn't like it.
No, I agree with you.
And my God, could they have used the word shit any more times on this fucking episode?
Probably.
Please don't tell me that.
That's what next week's going to be. They're going to try to break the record next week.
Yeah. But eventually, Jeff Jarrett did get sick of MJF. He punched him. There was a whole breakup thing. Didn't last that long. But then we kind of then we got to this Christian Cage match. We had Christian Cage against Hook. There was a lot of fuckery going on. But in the end, after they got a couple chairs in there and they were going to give the old concerto to Hook, and Taz said, "This ain't happening. Ain't happening, brother."
Doesn't work for me, brother.
Badass Samoa Joe came back. Big old Samoa Joe came back. Samoa Joe looked very Samoan.
Of course.
Samoa Joe looked very, very Jacob Fatu in his return here.
Do you want to go ahead and say that he looked fat, or are you just going to keep beating around the bush on that?
What was the character he played? He played the ice cream truck, right?
Yes, he was an ice cream truck.
I think he was eating the ice cream in the ice cream truck he was playing.
No, he played Sweet Tooth, but I like the idea of him just being a ice cream truck.
He looks like an ice cream truck.
That's wild. What is really fucking wild? I get it, I guess, because it's Hollywood and you want name value. But the idea that they had Samoa Joe like be the body double, I guess, or just like be the body of Sweet Tooth, but then you also had they had Will Arnett do the voice instead of Samoa Joe is like wild to me, because it's like you hired a guy who is better than anyone else in wrestling, at least, and probably a lot of people in Hollywood too, at being menacing and just saying things in a tone that sounds scary and menacing for real. Yeah. And then you're like, no, it's like, we can't use you. It's like, why can't you use him?
Yeah, he's kind of known for some very good promos in this business.
The one against Jeff Hardy was fucking crazy. Oh. He was like, pretend this is an AA meeting and wait to be called on. It's like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he's Joe has had some good promos in his time in wrestling, and I think we all know that. This whole so that was done, and then we had this whole vignette. We had Jeff Jarrett backstage with Renee Paquette. Now I can always see me more Renee Paquette, but Dustin Rhodes was there, and don't forget who you are. You're the last outlaw. We need outlaws. Outlaws are good. But whatever. Dustin's there with all these ROH championships.
Mm-hmm.
And exactly as Dirk says, more shits, more shit words. We had more shits back here. For MJF. MJF doesn't give a shit, doesn't know shit. But
MJF cuss word, wife sleeping, blah blah blah. Same old MJF.
Exactly. It's gonna get old. The fact that he keeps going for the low hanging fruit, the easy joke, the easy fucking crowd groan. It's gonna get old, and it already has to me. But after that, we get the women's gauntlet match. We start up Mariah May coming down on commentary. And the match goes on. It starts out with Jamie Hayter and Chris Statlander. And again, as Dirk says, Chris Statlander's ass looks much better in person. He had good seats, man. I don't know if you saw it, but he had pretty good seats out there. He really
sent me a couple of videos. I was seeing a lot of people saying a lot of good things about that venue, like how cool it is and how nice it looked. And it really kind of, from what I saw at least, perspective being what it is when you're just looking at it, you're not actually there. But it didn't look like you could really have that bad of a seat at the. It just seemed like the way that it was set up, you would get a good seat pretty much anywhere.
Yeah, it looked like a good arena. Two stories, and it looked pretty. Listen, they are doing some smaller arenas now, which I'm happy about. It sounds better. It looks better. You got a crowd in there, and I don't know. It definitely looked like, but he had some good. He had a perfect view, almost. If it wasn't for the person in front of him, of the ramp when people came out. He got some good videos and good pictures. And he said Mama Wayne got it going on. But we go to this match, start out with Jamie Hayter and Chris Statlander. And then we had Megan Baines. Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. This girl is. She came in, and Mariah May was hilarious. She's like, she doesn't even have a graphic. Is she in this match because she doesn't have a graphic?
What does she eat for breakfast, baby? So I was like, I know that's not what you meant, but that's inadvertently hilarious.
She is And she is just stunning. I mean, she's got the exotic look to her, and she's good in the ring. She was great. I thought she was really good in this match. But we go through, we get a bunch of other girls out there. We got Julia Hart coming out there. Willow Nightingale came out there. But Toni Storm comes out, and I think a lot of people did expect a Toni Storm win because they have this whole thing going on where, I think they want to put the championship back on this Toni Storm, even though she has a little bit of amnesia. So we get the match, and of course, Grand Slam is in Australia. So you got your two Australian girls now in a championship match. It makes total sense, folks.
Of course, yeah.
Let's put it, you put it together. So then we had Powerhouse Hobbs, the main event, Powerhouse Hobbs versus Jon Moxley. And you knew this wasn't going to be a long match because there was only 15 minutes left.
Mm-hmm.
After the entrances, there was 15 minutes left. So you're like, yep, this isn't going to be very long. And I think at that point is when I knew there's no way they're going to shake things up. There's no way they're going to have the balls to do this. There's no way they're going to only put 15 minutes in this match and Will Hobbs wins. No way in hell.
Right.
I don't think it would have been a stupid thing to have Will Hobbs win. The guy is fucking awesome. I don't think it would have been a dumb thing to do. But of course they didn't do that. It was, the usual Death Riders. You got them all kind of interfering, not coming in the ring, but interfering in certain ways. And Will Hobbs bit the earring out of Jon Moxley's ear, and Moxley was bleeding horribly from his left ear.
Yeah, it was
bad through most of this match. But I got to tell you, I wasn't crazy about the ending here. You had Marina Shafir hit him with the briefcase. It still took Moxley a few moves to put him down. Christopher Kane, I'm not sure Hobbs got buried in this match. I think this will continue. If they don't, okay, let me put it this way. If next week they don't continue this story somehow, some way, yeah, he might have been a little bit buried. I know people overuse that word, but in AEW it happens. They'll use a guy and then he's gone for 6 weeks. But I don't know if that's not the story here.
Well, I mean, plus to be fair, the way that they've treated Hobbs in the past, it's kind of, there's every reason to be suspicious that they're not going to do much with this.
Well, and they did beat the shit out of Hobbs, so if he's gone next week and then the week after they do something with him, I would be okay with that. But if they just do away with this fucking storyline at this point, it's a waste of Hobbs. And they've got to either push this guy or fucking release this guy.
Mm-hmm.
There's no in between anymore. The guy has size. He can wrestle. He can talk. What else do we fucking need here?
Right.
So,
like you said, it was an opportunity to shake things up, especially like there's a lot of people criticizing them for relying too much on some of the older people. And it's like, here's your opportunity to like kind of do something about that. And it's like, no, we're not going to take it. It's like, well, shit.
Dirk says at least Mox's group finally stuck to the script and they're attacking black guys. True. That is kind of what they were going for. But I think this story's got to continue. If you want to push Will Hobbs, he needs to continue going after the Death Riders and continue trying to get this title. So we'll see what happens, but I definitely think that this story should continue, needs to continue. I hope it does continue.
Yeah, me too. Jugger saying he was shocked that Hobbs ended up becoming the number 1 contender after getting beat by Takeshita. I mean, maybe it's hard to say exactly what it was that they were thinking, but like maybe it was just the idea of having Hobbs win because they wanted somebody to just lose to Moxley in Ohio, home turf and shit, and they just didn't expect the kind of groundswell of support that Hobbs got going into that match, maybe, like, because it seemed like there was a lot of people that were very excited about the prospect of like what you could do if you ended up having Hobbs win. Of course, it didn't happen, but it would have been nice if it did.
See, in WWE in your hometown, he definitely would have lost.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I just think I know it was Moxley's hometown. That would have been a bigger fuck you to Moxley, and not like a fuck you, but it would have meant so much more for Will Hobbs to actually get that title. Dude, they could have fucking taken that thing off of him in 3 weeks, and I wouldn't have cared. I think it would have been just something to not be so predictable.
Yeah, it could have been this like the fact that it being in Moxley's home turf and the fact that they typically don't have the people losing their hometown all the time like WWE would have made it even much more bigger, but it'd been this like big, like huge, like kind of upset thing that you could have rolled with, but that's not what they opted to do.
No, we didn't get that, my man. Oh shit. Oh, I'm old. But yeah, that was AEW, folks. So once again, Death Riders come out on top, and Will Hobbs, like I said, if he's gone next week after the way they beat him down, fine. If he's, but I do think this needs to fucking continue.
I would hope so.
Yeah, me too, man. Me too. So anyway, that's it, man. That's all I got here. That's all I got. So I think we are good to fucking go a smart.
Sounds good to me.
Sounds good to me, man. Smart.
Yes.
Tell me about tits. Give me some tit talk.
Yeah, absolutely. So not only are we going to be doing Totally Inappropriate Team Sports, that's Tits. That's a podcast I'm on. You can find me moving to Tuesdays now. It's going to be Tuesday Tits at 8:30. Still same time, just different day. So go ahead and check us out. We started doing the shows on Tuesday this week. We'll be doing it from here on out, presumably. We were talking about the NFL wild card. We talked about the games that happened, and we also kind of ran down the NFL divisional games, just some predictions there. So go ahead and listen to that, and we're going to be rolling throughout the NFL playoffs. Still got a couple more weeks to go, and presumably pretty soon, sooner than later, the Bears are going to end up fucking hiring Mike McCarthy. So if you want to watch me have a meltdown on air, stay tuned, because that's going to happen.
Real quick, I got to ask something.
Yes.
Are you guys talking about the largely growing sport of pickleball?
Pickleball. No, I do know about pickleball, though. It seems like it's a sport that's become popular amongst sort of 40 and up people, I guess would be the way to put that. It seems like it's not really something that's super popular with the younger generation, but it seems like there's a lot of people that are late 30s, early 40s and above that are like getting really into pickleball. And it's like people who haven't been athletic in the past, and they're like, or haven't been athletic for a very long time, and they're getting into pickleball and they're like hurting themselves. I heard a lot of people getting injured.
Probably. I just noticed they are building pickleball courts at all the parks around here. Even Sonic.
I want to know where these fucking magical Sonics are, because I've heard of Sonics that have, like you were saying, pickleball courts. I've heard volleyball courts, basketball courts. A couple Sonics are on my way. None of them do any of that shit. It's just a regular ass Sonic. They don't even have roller skates. They just have regular slip-resistant shoes.
Sonics here, around here, we didn't have Sonics in Florida. So when I first moved here, a lot of the Sonics here did have volleyball, beach volleyball, sand volleyball courts.
Mm-hmm.
Now we moved out to East Texas, and my wife used to love taking my daughter to McDonald's because they had the play place. Mm-hmm. There's not a McDonald's near us within 80 miles that has a play place. So all the Sonics near us, though, do. And they've got giant fucking slides at these Sonics.
I've never encountered any of these Sonics.
Well, maybe it's and again, dude, I mean, we still have fucking sit-down Pizza Huts here.
Yeah. What we did just get, like last week, I think it was Thursday of last week, Raising Cane's. I don't know if you've ever heard of them. They have this just a chicken strip place.
Oh,
Literally, that's all they sell is chicken strip, Texas toast, sauce. That's it.
Oh, yeah.
Fries.
We got Cane's here.
It's the first one here, like in this general area, like Chattanooga area. Like I think there's some in Knoxville, but first one in this general area, Chattanooga area. I have never in my life seen a line that fucking crazy. Like it's think about like the biggest line you could think of for like the opening of a fast food place, and then like triple it. Like it is fucking insane. Like it was legitimately not even an over exaggeration. There was a line. It's like I said, they opened Thursday. I was like around that way Sunday, I believe it was, and there was a line that was literally a mile long of cars, like to get into the restaurant.
Dude, when In-N-Out opened in Dallas, there were like 2.5 mile lines to get the burgers.
It's the most insane shit.
Not anymore, but I mean, I'll tell you what, you go to a Chick-fil-A anywhere between Dallas and here at fucking lunchtime, and you've got a line that's fucking ridiculous. They get you through fast as fuck because, you know, they're very happy to serve you. But Jesus Christ, man, it is, the lines are, and even out here, I am shocked when I came out here and I still saw the Chick-fil-A lines. I was going to go to Chick-fil-A at 11:30 today. I drove by and I was like, fuck that. I went to Whataburger.
Mm-hmm.
I went right to Whataburger. I like the Whataburger near me. It's all decked out like a 50s diner.
Nice.
So it's pretty cool. But we have tons of Raising Cane's around here, man. And their chicken's pretty good. We have Raising Cane's, Chicken Express. Both chicken are very good, but Chicken Express has corn nuggets, and my daughter loves the corn nuggets.
Nice.
So, but all right, just wanted to add, because we have like all the new apartment complexes, all these restaurants, all these they're all building pickleball courts. And it's like, what the fuck is happening here? But that's what's happening out here in East Texas, pickleball. And
that's a big racket. There's like fucking, I've seen a bunch of like different like ads and shit for like pickleball, like athletic gear, like specifically like pickleball shoes, and allegedly designed for pickleball. It's like,
and as you said, it's a racket. You do need a racket to play. You're correct.
That's true.
So, but there you go, folks. We're gonna go ahead and get out of here. I will be back on Hollywood Hangout this week. So actually, I did not make it last week. I keep forgetting we have shit to do, or my wife made shit for us to do on Friday or something. But this week I am home by myself, just me and my 16-year-old. So Saturday night Hollywood Hangout. I'm thinking about talking the movie Carry On, that Netflix movie, and try to do a non-spoiler version. So I'll see what's going on. But on that note, folks, I have nothing else for you. So what do you say, Smark? Let's knock out of here.
Man, let's get on out of here.
All right, folks, we're punching out. We're out of here. We will be back here next Thursday night, 9:30 p.m. Eastern time, talking more wrestling, and we will fucking go from there. So enjoy and see ya.